The following program contains views that are not those of WVTC, iNetworks Communications, their subsidiaries, affiliates, or financial supporters.
Go to your Apple or Google Play Store and download the WVTC Gospel Radio app today. You can also say, Alexa, play WVTC Radio Skills.
Would you like to play WVTC Radio Network?
Absolutely. Download it today. Go to your Apple or Google Play Store.
Good evening.
Yeah, huge delay. Yeah, we all.
Good evening, WTC family. Here with you are the Print Master of the Voice of Change. Good afternoon. I am Dante.
I'm Lonnie.
I'm Danny.
And we have a special guest here with us today.
I'm Faye, Christian author and poet of multiple different books, Anointed Scroll, Coloring Outside the Chains, Diadem of Glory, and I have a few other copies like Blessed and Prosperous Prayer Journal and To Live for Christ.
So I got a question for you.
Yes.
How do you feel after you write these books?
Every time I write a book, I feel like a sense of relief. Like I got something out that's new to the world that the world needs to hear and enjoy and be inspired by. Because that's what my writing is all about, to inspire other people to go out and create new things. And also I want them to feel heard, seen, and rejuvenated from my work.
Good. Anybody else got a question?
You said before we came on camera, you said that you were in school before you started to write your books.
Absolutely.
I just want to know like how that was. What you said you were studying again?
Mental health counseling.
Yeah, how was that?
It was a hard process. It was really difficult because with mental health counseling, you have to really be able to not only be able to hear and pay attention to what people are saying, but you also have to, there's a discernment piece, right? So a client could say, I'm feeling well, but if their body language isn't saying well, then you have to be able to ask the leading questions to kind of find out what exactly is behind that, along with also being able to diagnose people, and people's diagnosis may change as you are continuing to counsel them.
Okay. So is anything that you learned in school, has that helped you with writing your books?
I feel like yes, absolutely. I would say Deliver Me definitely had a lot of different things that I went through while being a mental health counselor and getting some things out. My piece, I See You Bleed, like bleed from the inside out. No, you don't let the words help me come out your mouth. That was another key piece because people won't say that they need help, but you might notice like a difference in them. Like they may be joyful all of the time, and then you might see them slow down completely, or things be different, or you may not hear from them. And a lot of times you probably don't hear from them because they have something going on in their lives that's completely outside of you.
It's good to know. Money, you got a question?
Yeah, what made you start getting into writing spoken word?
So I wrote spoken word since high school. So spoken word is not a new thing for me. It's a regular thing. The thing that actually made me do it is because I've always been so different. So it's been great to actually be able to have a voice, and writing allows me to do that, be able to have a voice and be able to inspire people in a way that's unfiltered.
That's great. That's really great because I've always kind of been fascinated with spoken word. Like I'll be on TikTok and I'll be seeing like all those people on stage saying things. It could be gospel, Christian, spoken word, or it could be, the motivational speakers or just the ones that talk about like the Black experience. But it's very fascinating.
Absolutely.
Okay, I got another question. What is your favorite book out of all of them?
So my favorite book out of all of my books is actually this one, Diadem of Glory, about embracing the royalty inside yourself through Christ Jesus. That's why it has the crown. It has the breast cancer symbol because women in my family have suffered from it, but survived due to the grace of God. There is a lot of oil inside of this book. That's why it's one of my favorites. So first and foremost, it talks about the spiritual warfare that I encountered while writing this beautiful book, Anointed Scroll. On top of that, it mentions how I got through it. It talks about how faith is my oxygen, and even things that I would not have initially mentioned in the beginning. I went ahead and mentioned it, such as like even some of the things that people in my bloodline have went through, such as cancer. Like, so cancer can't hold you back. Is in there, and these are things that people wouldn't have been able to pull out of me naturally, but through my writing, they were able to pull out of it. And then it's also this aspect of community within a book. Like I have the piece Black Wall Street, along with many different other African American businesses that I've networked being listed in it. So it also has a business directory. When people hear the price of this book, they're not so excited. So it's my most expensive book. It's $25. But the reason why it's $25 is not only because of all the oil in it, it's the spiritual warfare and even how much went into actually cultivating the book itself. So yes.
Okay, so I think we have a question from our audience. And one of the questions is, when did you begin your faith journey?
So I've always I grew up attending church. So Christ was always with me my entire life. But in terms of knowing Jesus for myself, I would say that probably came in around 2021. I had a lot of different things going on in my life. And I had thought that, man, God really didn't, like me. But like after like talking to some people and really explaining, like breaking down what spiritual warfare was, what that was, and I decided, okay, I have to like really begin to hone in and build a relationship for myself. And I specifically went through a heartbreak that kind of caused me to push back, because like feeling a hole in your heart is hard. It's like, man, like I don't this person love me. Like it feels very heart-wrenching. It can be a hard experience to get through, but I had to kind of allow God to come in and fill all of the pieces that were essentially broken.
Has anyone ever told you how they felt after reading one of your books?
Yes, I've had quite a few people tell me about how they felt. Specifically, the piece that I mentioned, Deliver Me, that piece is brought up a whole lot inside of the book. People all talk about and they ask me different questions about how that was and what that experience is like. And Anointed Scroll, I have the piece that's called Overcoming My Goliath. One of the real estate agents at my church told me, like, man, when you wrote that book, I felt like you were really talking about me and speaking to me. So I've had a lot of people tell me some really great things after reading their book. So it's been very encouraging. Yes.
Okay.
We got another question.
Do you believe that spoken word assisted you on your journey to becoming an author?
Absolutely. So I would say spoken word absolutely 100% assisted me on my journey of becoming an author, because without spoken word, I most definitely would not have had a book or a platform. So starting off pretty much at Chatham Avalon, I was doing poetry pieces for them. They were requesting, I was doing it. And then I had people tell me like, man, I want to actually see what you wrote down inside of a book. So because they were telling me that, I'm like, okay, go ahead and keep saying it and I'll eventually do it. Because essentially, I didn't know that this was something that I could do. I was more concerned about, well, if I write a book, who will actually read my book versus just being obedient, right? We get stuck in the small stuff. I didn't even consider the fact that I'm a very charismatic person who's very unapologetic about her personality. So essentially, when things didn't work out in school, it's like it gave me permission to go ahead and do it. and step out on faith. Like, school wasn't going in the right direction. Why shouldn't I go ahead and pursue something that God gave me and allow it to be a great thing in my life and a great opportunity to bring in some income and some additional stability?
Where can people find your book at? All your books?
Absolutely. So all of my books are on Amazon. And I do also have a page, so it might be easier for people to look up Faith Alexis Jackson on Amazon. Anointed Scroll is just listed as Faith Jackson, so they don't list it the right way. But they can type in the name of any books and say by Faith Jackson and be able to find me for sure.
Okay, so our next question is, what would be your advice to the youth today in having a relationship with God?
I would say, my advice to the youth would be to hone into his voice, listen to them. It's never too early to hear and gain a relationship with God. It might not be easy, and it might very well be somewhat of a lonely journey, but God will always send the right people around to help you and cultivate your experience. And when all else fails, you can always be around older people who are going to understand. So try to be around people who are going to understand you and encourage you to keep going.
Okay, so I know I asked what's your favorite book. What is your most selling book that you have?
So right now, I think it changes. So right now, Coloring Outside the Chains is my best-selling book. As of right now, everywhere I go, that's the one that people mostly ask for, even though I really be pushing out this one as well. I don't leave out the house without this book, so I always know I'm going to sell out. When I initially first started selling it, I faced rejection immediately because they were like, oh, this is for kids. And I explained to them, no, this is they can actually fit all ages. It's specifically made about art history. And I went and broke down the poems, and I really realized a lot of adults like to color. So it's been absolutely amazing where people of all ages could get it. So even if the adult wasn't interested in coloring it, they might get it from their grandchild or something like that. But I did preface it and always explain to them, well, this book does talk about police brutality. Is that okay? Because I didn't want to face any backlash from anybody, when they bought it for their grandchild, not realizing, like, I talk about all pieces of history, including some of the things that we currently face today. So, yes.
That's good. Y'all, anybody got any more questions? No.
Y'all have any more questions?
Where do you record your music?
So I use Easy Record to record my poetry. I don't do any music yet, but I mean, you can speak it into my life because I definitely do want to venture off and make some songs. I think. So yes, I do it on my phone. I do it on my phone using Easy Record whenever I record it. I haven't recorded the audio for a lot of my books, like released it yet, because a lot of people don't like CDs. It would be nice to be able to get it on Apple Music or something along those lines, but that's pretty much where I'm at with it. I would like to eventually do an audio book of some sort. I don't know how an audio book works, but that would absolutely be nice. So yeah.
But thank you for coming on with us and answering our questions.
Absolutely. Did you guys want to hear a poetry piece before I went?
Yes, we love to
start the journey. So I'll do one quick one for you. This is Compression. This is from Anointed Scroll. Like, that's the essential message about this book, not being compressed. And in order to be an author, you have to refuse to not be compressed. So people are always trying to compress me, but I am not a suitcase. Sorry if I have to get on your case, but you cannot brush me around your mouth and spit me out like toothpaste just because you can't keep up with my pace. No, you cannot copy and paste this overly big fairy named Faith, because I will remain great. Great like the all-women Dahomey army who refused to allow the British to get a big break. So what? I'm over dramatic and loud. That's what makes me Faith. Don't try to minimize my power because you're stuck in the gloomy veil known as self-hate. So if you're annoyed by my snaps, that's too bad. I'm like Bryson Tiller. Sorry, not sorry if I made you sad and mad by responding in my forms of snaps, laughs, and hundreds of yeses. It's my signature. Don't think for 1 second that I've got to rewrite it and modify it for you, and don't even think about coming at me for the way that I move. See, I dance with my soul. So I jump, skip, and hop to the rhythm of my own beat. And don't be telling me that, babe, you're just too happy. What am I supposed to do? Be mad all the time, receiving early frown lines because I decided to frown and not smile when the joy of the Lord is my strength? Weeping endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Trust me, faith ain't got no reasons to be mad because faith is blessed. Blessed like the angels that stand by Jesus' side. Blessed like Cinderella riding away with the chariots at night. Not to say that my life is a Cinderella movie, but I am not about to allow myself to get depressed about your thoughts or opinions of me. I deserve to love myself and come as I am. So I'm not asking you to make room. I set my own table, pull up my own chair, whatever I gotta do to create my own space. People cannot compress what refuses to come down. I answer to God after all. I'm his child. Thank you all. Yes, all the snaps. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, you guys. That would be the show for today. It was a wonderful show with you, Miss Faith. Thank you for coming. And we will see you guys another day. See you guys later. And we are
The Voices of Change.
Go to your Apple or Google Play Store and download the WVTC Gospel Radio app today. You can also say, Alexa, play WVTC Radio Skills.
Would you like to play WVTC Radio Network?
Absolutely. Download it today.
Views made on the preceding program are not those of WVTC Radio, iNetworks Communications, or their financial supporters.
Winning victory through Christ, WVTC Allsip Chicago, and iNetworks Communications Station.